Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining us today for a very special Scenic Luxury Cruises and Tours webinar. My name is Anna, I'm an Industry Relations Specialist here at CLIA, and I'm going to just quickly go through some housekeeping before introducing our presenter. This webinar will run about 40 minutes with time for questions at the end. Please feel free to type your questions into the questions module of the webinar and we'll get to them at the conclusion of the presentation. This webinar is being recorded and will be posted on CLIA's YouTube channel, CLIA Global. With that, it is my pleasure to introduce our presenter, Richard Hickey. Richard has been working in various sales positions within the travel industry for over 30 years and joined Scenic in 2014 as Business Development Manager. In 2016, Richard was promoted to Director of Key Accounts, leading the company's efforts to expand relationships with strategic partners and consortia. Richard works closely with management teams from these accounts in creating contracts, marketing plans, and incentives. He also provides support for the multiple agency locations and individual agents across the country to ensure all are knowledgeable on Scenic's policies and procedures while also being properly trained on each of their brands. Take it away, Richard.
Thank you, Anna, for that warm welcome. I appreciate it. And hello, travel partners. Thank you for taking your time today to hear about the Scenic Eclipse. Really some exciting times here at Scenic as we get prepared to take delivery of the Scenic Eclipse in January of actually her maiden voyage in January of next year. I hope your summer is winding down to be a great one. We seem to be having some phenomenal booking days at Scenic on all three brands, so it's just been a great time for us here. And saying that, for those who may not be familiar with Scenic Group, our journey started 32 years ago with our owner, Glenn Maroney, offering motor coach tours. He grew the company over the years as a global tour company, always focusing on upscale vacations, and decided to get in the river cruise industry back in 2008 when we launched Scenic Luxury River Cruising, our 5-star luxury product. And then in 2014, saw there was a need for a deluxe river cruise line, another deluxe river cruise line. We call her our sleeping giant, and that's Emerald Waterways that we launched in 2014. And then, of course, the Scenic Eclipse that will be launched in January. So in saying that, you know, we feel our expertise gained over the last 32 years through developing tours, through luxury, through Scenic Tours. You look at our custom designed ships and onboard experience on the rivers. We feel that this is a strong blueprint for every aspect of our luxury yacht Scenic Eclipse. Hold, please. I'm sorry. So we refer to the Scenic Eclipse as a discovery yacht. Her maiden voyage is January 29th of 2019, and we really feel she's going to take luxury ocean cruising, small ship cruising, if you will, to a whole new level. And we basically married three pillars: luxury, discovery, and safety. So the commitment to those three pillars feel that it's going to provide the ultimate ocean cruise experience. At 228 passengers, she's inspired by the sleek contours of a sailing yacht. She's designed to access small ports and remote locations. On the safety side, she'll have the highest luxury ship classification, which is called a Class 1A Polar Class 6 hull. If you say that 3 times, you may get a free cruise. In other words, let me repeat that again. Classification I Class 1A Polar Class 6 hull, which allows the Eclipse to navigate through the waters of the polar regions of Antarctica and the Arctic area, and really gives us full access to a range of landing sites. Some unique features on board: we've got stabilizers that are 50% larger than the standard ships these size, which allows stable crossings, especially down south when you're in the Drake Passage in the Antarctica area. We have a GPS dynamic positioning system. This system ensures that we can moor in areas without having to drop an anchor. We may be in some sensitive areas, reefs and areas that we don't want to drop anchor, and this GPS dynamic positions allows us to be able to stay stable in these areas. On the luxury side, we've got 10 dining experiences that I'll talk about. We've got large suites. We've got quite a few tours on the discovery side. So again, we feel the ship's going to take luxury small ocean cruising to another level. And saying that, you, our travel partners, and your clients have done such a great job filling the first Scenic Eclipse that our owner, back in February of this year, decided to commit to building another sister ship, Scenic Eclipse. So we announced that sister ship that she'll be starting service in August of 2020. She'll have some different itineraries that I'll talk about today. She's going to be going into the White Sea in Russia, Northwest Passage, as well as into Alaska. And we've got that brochure out. But we feel that both these ships are going to set benchmarks in design, innovation, and technology. Scenic Eclipse. Our core message, just like on scenic river cruising, is we are a truly, truly all-inclusive experience. You know, and at Scenic, when we say all-inclusive, we truly mean it. On the Eclipse, it's a variety of included shore excursions, actors, discovery excursions by Zodiac, kayaks, snorkeling, bicycles. We've got complimentary beverages throughout the ship and many bars in each stateroom. I mentioned the 10 dining experiences that are going to be all-inclusive, all the tipping gratuities, both on and off the ship. We basically are making sure that all the little extras on Scenic are included. We've got service levels, impeccable service levels. For every guest on board, I do have one crew member that's going to take care of your clients. All guests will have access to butlers, expertly trained butlers. They're dedicated, providing excellent service on board. So again, when we say all-inclusive, we truly mean it. There will be some charges on board, and that would be through the spa and a couple of the toys that I'll talk about. But the core experience is a truly all-inclusive deal. Now, let's take a little tour on the experience and a little journey to discover what's in store for you and your clients on board the ship. So once boarding the ship, in the lobby lounge, from the moment guests step on board, they'll really experience the ultimate in grandeur and style, as you see right here. This is one of 8 bars and lounges. It's the heart of the ship. Great place to relax, enjoy a drink, a spirit, listen to some music. Another great area that we have is the Observatory. This is a quiet space to relax at the front of the ship. It's overlooking the bow on deck 5. And what it does, it actually opens up to the Observatory Terrace, which is one of 4 outdoor public terrace areas. You've got the telescope there. Obviously, cruising in some of the destinations we're going, this is going to be key. So some nice views as you're cruising in the Observatory. We've got our theater holding up to 228 guests. Everything from performances, presentations, live music. We'll have lectures on board. Our discovery team will have an enriched experience on board with lectures, concerts. So we'll have a variety of entertainment for your clients in the theater. Spa, we've dedicated over 5,900 square feet of space to a spa inspired by one of the Scandinavian spas that we visited. We've got this service tables, as you see here, the service lounge area. We've also got indoor-outdoor plunge pools and jacuzzis. On board, we have a fitness area. Part of the wellness area we've got on the Scenic Eclipse features a separate gym. We've got yogas and a Pilates studio. Important to note that all these classes are included. We don't charge for these classes inside the fitness center. The mudroom. We have our internal mudroom and platform area. Very important, especially when guests are going on and off the ship. It's for their tours, their kayak tours, Zodiac tours. What they'll have is this particular area has an internal climate control room, makes it very comfortable and very easy to get on and off the ship, as you see here. Dining. Let's talk about the dining experience. Very important to know that we've dedicated a lot of resources to make sure clients are going to experience great cuisine on board. This is Guillermo Muro. He's our culinary director. Guillermo is Brazilian. He's visited over 119 countries and has tasted foods in every one of these countries. Guillermo and the 33 chefs I have on board, let me say that again, 33 chefs that we have on board are going to be creating over 1,200 different dishes, a lot of times based on the areas that we're going to be going to. And as you mentioned earlier, we have 10 dining experiences, so let's take a look at those. We've got elements. Elements is our main restaurant. This is actually the entrance, the bar entrance to Elements. Again, main restaurant will have breakfast, lunch, and dinner served here. Dinner, you'll have the Italian steak, seafood, nicely appointed. Also, we have a wine bar as well as an international cheese bar stocked with fine cheeses from around the world. Inside Elements, we have the chef's table, which is a private dining experience for 8 to 10 guests. If you're familiar with Table de Rive on board scenic river cruising, similar concept. Degustation, it's paired with meals, it's paired with wines, all right? This is one of the experiences that reservations are needed. All of our dining experiences are open seating, so guests can dine when and where they want to. However, we do have a couple experiences or reservations are needed, and this is one of them. How will the guests make the reservations? Once they're on board, they check with their maitre d' or butler or even the front desk to secure the night that they want, and that's the chef's table. We've got Lumiere's, which is French fine dining. Also at Lumiere's, it's nice to point out that we do have a champagne bar. Each evening, the chef will greet guests and he'll showcase the evening selections, which his team will be preparing. And it's kind of an open kitchen atmosphere, as you see here in the slide. So guests will be able to walk up and see the chefs preparing the meal on board. Coco's. Important to know that within Coco's, we actually have 3 dining experiences on board. The first is the Asian Fusion restaurant, offering a range of different areas. We've got sushi at Coco's with the sake bar. We have fresh sushi made in front of you with a traditional style seating, as you see in the slide. And then the third experience inside Coco's is Teppanyaki at Coco's. This is another private dining experience for 8 guests, and reservations will be required for this experience as well. Continuing on, more of a casual experience, we have the Yacht Club. This is breakfast or lunch by the pool. Enjoy al fresco dining with floor-to-ceiling windows. We've got indoor and outdoor dining, poolside grill and buffet. You know that area on board ships. We've got the Azure Bar and Cafe. This is casual dining. We refer to this as casual dining all day. It can be anywhere from oysters to Pinot Grigio to red wine and pista. Not sure that oysters and Pinot Grigio is casual dining, but on board the Scenic Eclipse, you can look at it as casual dining. This experience will host both breakfast, lunch, and dinner, all 3. And then we have our cooking school called the Epicure. This is our state-of-the-art interactive cooking emporium. We've got the live Whirlball in the back, as you see there, and TV monitors. Guests will create their own masterpiece with our executive chef as they're cruising around the world. Important to know that we are currently not allowing the Epicure available during the polar areas. So that is not available during the polar regions cruising. And then to top it off, room service with your butler. We've got room service with your butler. We've got a room service menu for your clients. Butlers are there to take care of your clients, whether it's shoe shine, garment pressing, reservations, as I talked about, room service, refreshments. Service levels are at their best on board the Scenic Eclipse. When we take a look at the staterooms, we offer a full range of accommodations on board. All 114 spacious suites feature a private veranda, all made up with the finest appointments, amenities that you'll see on board any luxury ocean ship. I always like to point out that our owner, Glenn Maroney, and his wife, Karen, are very hands-on with the company. They're very hands-on with the development of the ship, the build of the ship, and Karen is hands-on with the interior. She's in charge with handpicking all the furnishings and all the modern art. She does a wonderful job, and it really reflects, as you see on all of our river ships, and you'll be seeing it on the Scenic Eclipse. All of our staterooms will feature the Scenic Slumber Bed, king-size Scenic Slumber Bed that's manufactured exclusively for Scenic, dressed up with Egyptian cotton linen. We'll have the finest of the luxurious toiletries on board. This is our starting stateroom at 345 square feet. Nice size with separate sitting area. We look at our suite category, the spa suite category, at 538 square feet. Spacious. When you look at the bathrooms on board, we've got the Felite Stark full jacuzzi, very popular jacuzzi, double vanity, oversized shower. Obviously, this category being spa suite, guests will start to get complimentary spa services. They'll get a 1-hour spa service inside the spa. The Grand Panorama Suite at 1,238 square feet. We've got 4 of these located at the front of the ship. Got a dining table, seating for 4. There's a separate bedroom. You've got spacious curved terraces outside, nicely appointed bathrooms. I love that cool tub right there at 1,238 square feet. And then our top category, which is the owner's penthouse at 2,099 square feet. This is the largest suite that we have, larger than my condominium, if you will. This stateroom's got a 10-seat dining table. You've got a separate bedroom, floor-to-ceiling windows. With a touch of a button, you've got opening views that you'll be able to see as you're cruising along. Also, these 2 staterooms are overlooking the bow of the ship as well. So you've got this curved terrace with the private jacuzzi, so the ultimate in luxury. Now, important to note that all of our staterooms are based on double occupancy. And a lot of our travel partners and guests are asking, no triples or quads. We are able to have a 2-bedroom suite. They're on the starboard side, on the right side of the ship, on the top deck, passenger deck. We've got the owner's penthouse, and I'm going to go back to the spa suite. So they're adjoining on the starboard side. So you've got the spa suite and the owner's penthouse that are adjoining to make it a 2-bedroom suite at 2,637 square feet. So there's your 2-bedroom suite for maybe some families or some friends that want to cruise together and enjoy the eclipse. Those are the staterooms. Now we're going to take you on the Discovery side and take a look at some of the itineraries that we've put together for your clients. Again, 6-star ocean cruising as best. As I mentioned, our first voyage is going to be in the polar region down in Antarctica. And if your clients want to step foot on the 7th continent, then this is the ship and the itinerary for them to choose. We've got a round trip 12-day departure out of Ushuaia called the Ultimate Antarctica. Spending 6 full days down at the Antarctic Peninsula and offering an average of 2 excursions per day. We are providing guests with complimentary parkas and beanies. They'll receive those on board, and it's theirs to keep. We'll also have polar boots on board, but of course they're ours. We've got expert captains and ice pilots that are going to take the ship, ensure some of the best possible experiences based on weather conditions. But we have a discovery team on board. We've got a discovery team of 16 members. They're there to organize the discovery experiences and the tours, and they're specialists in their fields. We've got biologists on board, historians, naturalists, geologists, as well as fishery and underwater experts. So this team is put together by our team leader, who has been in the industry for 20 years and really knows what's going on in these destinations. So this group is there to really make sure that your clients are walking away from memorable experiences and shore excursions. And taking a look at some of the included shore excursions, we've got kayak. Discovery team will take your guests out on kayak. It's important to know that in the polar regions, your clients will need to have some experience in kayaking. And our discovery team will qualify them before they allow them to get into one of the kayaks. Want to make sure that they do have some experience in kayaking. We'll offer some shore excursions with snowshoes. We'll bring you up to close to some of these friendly creatures down there, the local Gentoo penguins. Walk around with some of the penguins. We've got our helicopters on board. Really neat for the adventurer. We've got 2 Airbus H-130 helicopters on board. We've specifically picked these helicopters, this model, because it's got a wide cabin space which accommodates the pilot and the 6 passengers. This particular helicopter has really set the standard for tourism operations worldwide. Now, on board the ship, we've got 2 of them. Now, these excursions are weather dependent, obviously. And can you imagine soaring over the ice capes of Antarctica in one of these? Great experience. Charges. Obviously, the question comes up, what's going to be charged? Helicopter is going to be an additional charge. Right now, we've set the charge at approximately about $300 USD per person for a 20-minute helicopter excursion. We've also got our 7-seat submarine on board. Submarine with a pilot taking you down depths of 450 feet. Your clients will be able to go down, check out all types of sea life. The approximate cost on a 20-minute submarine excursion is around $250. Again, another added tour. And what we'll be doing and how we will be scheduling these helicopters and tours is basically by category. Guests that are in the higher suites obviously would get priority over some of the lower categories when booking the helicopters and the tours on board. So those are some great adventure experiences for your clients. Now, when we go up to the top of the world, we're going into the Arctic and the fjords. We've got a wonderful 11-day ultimate Arctic cruise. The aim of this particular cruise is to do a full circumnavigation of Spitsbergen and the outlying islands. We'll explore a lot of the coastline. We're going to go to the fjords of the west as well as the mountains of the east. Arctic's a little bit different than Antarctica, as I'm sure. There's a lot more wildlife, bird life. And what we're going to be doing with our discovery team is we're going to be searching for the kings of the Arctic, the mighty polar bear, as well as the walrus and some zodiacs. So our team's got some great tours for you, your clients scheduled for the top of the world as well. Another great cruise, we've got our 13-day Norwegian Fjords. This is a popular cruise, allows guests to we cruise through the inner fjords, the Lofoten Islands. And again, I always go back to what our discovery team's going to be offering. Some great kayak, zodiac tours. We also will have a fleet of e-bikes. And if you're familiar with our electrically assisted bikes on board the river ships, they're a great asset to clients who haven't been on a bike in a while and may need a little bit of help. All they have to do is click on that electric motor and off they'll go. So we'll have some e-bike tours as well in some of the destinations that we'll be cruising. And another great destination, we know it's a hot destination, if you will, is Iceland. We've got our 11-day Iceland Discovery. This is a round-trip cruise out of Reykjavik. I can tell you that from what I hear from a lot of the tour operators and a lot of the cruise lines that are going into Iceland, it's a really hot destination. I know some of the tour companies are waitlisted up into 2020. So we've got the Scenic Eclipse doing a round-trip cruise, circumnavigating the volcanic coastline and the islands of Iceland. And sir, we all know this is the land of geysers and glaciers. When we look at Europe, we've got a wide range of cruises offering your clients 9 to 12 days, and we have many one-offs. And as you know, with the Eclipse being 228 passengers, we can get into some of the smaller ports. What we're going to be doing is offering our free choice and our scenic and rich tours in Europe and the Mediterranean as well. So our journey designers have handcrafted a range of tours based on activity levels very similar to Scenic River. They can be relaxed paced, they can be moderate paced, and they can be very active. We've got from history to culture, food to great outdoors. There is something for every one of our guests and one of your clients to choose from. And they're included. They are included. When we look at some of our free choice tours in the small islands off Greece, going into one of the preserved ancient Greek ruins. We've got some zodiac experiences, getting into the smaller islands. We'll even drop clients off on a beach day with a chef-prepared picnic. One of my favorite ports of call in my home country, in Ireland, we're going into the small port of Dingle. It's a small port town on southwest Ireland's Dingle Peninsula. It's known for the scenery, the sandy beaches, just a beautiful destination. It's one part of our free choice tours and one of the ports that we'll be going to. Scenic and rich. Now, these are our exclusive events. When we are at these events, no one else is there but the scenic guests, just like on River. They are exclusive and included. A couple examples of some of the scenic and rich events are we're going to be going into a private performance at the Monaco Opera. Another one would be the equestrian ballet at the Royal Andalusian School of Equestrian Art in Spain. Again, inclusive and exclusive, And on most of our cruises in Europe, that's not all of them, we'll be offering 1 scenic and rich and up to 6 free choice tours in each port. So plenty of opportunity to really experience these destinations that we're going to be going. Also, we'll be offering some helicopter tours in Europe and the Med. Could be a Mount Etna, one of the active volcanoes. I think it was last erupted back in 2015. Another itineraries that we're going to be going. So we've done some Antarctica. We're going to go up and do some Mediterranean cruises. Then we're going to do the top of the world in the Antarctic region for the first season. And then we're going to reposition back down into Canada, New England, and we're going to be going down the coast of U.S. And this is an example of our East Coast USA cruise from New York to Nassau. Stops in Baltimore, Norfolk, Wilmington, Charleston. I'm sure if any of you are in these areas, be on the lookout for doing some ship tours. This will be in September of 2019, next year. And the reason she's going to be ending up in Nassau is because the Eclipse will be doing our 14-day Cuba in-depth. We know Cuba's been a really hot destination, especially with the big ships going in there the last year. Our 14-day round trip from Nassau, the idea is to really circumnavigate the entire island and get into some of the smaller ports like Cienfuegos. Cienfuegos is kind of the pearl of the South. It's on Cuba's south coast, obviously known for the colonial era buildings. We're going into Trinidad. Trinidad, they say the clock stopped in 1850 and they've yet to start. We're going to be offering some walking tours to the cobblestone streets. And then we're also going to be going into Santiago de Cuba. And Santiago de Cuba, this is a fascinating part of the country. This is the Catholic Alcalde Church, Shrine of the Virgin of Charity, the patron saint of Cuba. So the idea with the Eclipse is going around the entire island, round trip from Nassau, and really getting into some of the smaller ports. We've got overnights in Cienfuegos, we've got overnights in Havana, so there's plenty of time to experience the sights, sounds, and culture of Cuba. And then to top it off, we do have some scuba diving in some of these destinations. Scuba diving would also be an additional charge as well. We're going to be working with some of the local operators in the area to be offering some scuba diving. So again, when it comes to the tours, we've got your clients covered with the Discovery experience on board. Now, some of the nuts and bolts. If you're not familiar with the Eclipse, a little bit more in depth, I encourage you to go to scenicusa.com/Eclipse. We've got some great information for you there. We've got some videos. You can take a look at some of the marketing material that we have. We have our 2019-2020 brochure that's out on the streets right now. You can also call reservations, 855-517-1200, and get some quotes, get any other information as well. Or there's my email address, richard.hickey@scenicusa.com. Also, when you visit scenicusa.com, you can register on the agent portal. You can receive all of our current updates, both on river and ocean, as well as find your local business development manager that's around your area as well. So, Anna, we'll go ahead and bring that back on board. We do have our early bird cruise fares that are 10% off. So some great savings for your clients. We're happy to have them on board.
Great, thank you so much. And we do have some questions coming in. We'll get to those in just a second. And I want to invite everyone to keep typing them in as we do have some time to get those answered. Our first question, Tunisia is wondering if a client doesn't want to get off the ship, do they have that option? And also if they want to self-explore at the ports, is that an option?
Oh, absolutely. Sure. You know, that's the beauty of ocean cruising, where a lot of times the ship can be the destination. So clients do not have to get off. They can just enjoy the amenities and services on board the ship. And what will always happen is when we do go into the ports of call and they may not want to go on one of our guided tours, they can always consult with the cruise director, who will have information on the local sites. So we can arrange some cabs and you know, transportation like that, but absolutely. Guests do not have to go on these scheduled tours. They can explore on their own as well.
Okay, perfect. Good to have both of those options. Our next question is from Sarah, who is wondering if you can talk a little bit about the demographics of the passengers on your cruises.
Well, what we're seeing right now is a wide range of passengers on board. Obviously, we're seeing a lot of scenic river cruise guests coming on board the Scenic Eclipse. If you look at our demographic on the Scenic River, it's 55 to 75, that boomer audience and that mature audience. We do see, I have met with clients that are younger going on the Scenic Eclipse with parents. I've seen the early 20s, the millennials going. So it's actually a wide range, but what we've been able to do is capitalize on past guests that have enjoyed the scenic river cruise experience and love ocean cruising and want that same all-inclusive experience that they have on river, as well as the service. So again, we market really to 55 and 75, but we're seeing a variety of ages on board.
Great. This next question is from Steve, who is wondering if there is a dress code on board.
Country club casual ambiance, Steve. Great question. Just like our river ships. Country club casual ambiance. No formal attire. Jackets aren't required. They are suggested on maybe when you're in the chef's table, the Tapanyaka grill if you want, and the Scenic and Rich. The Scenic and Rich tends to be more of an elegant experience on the destinations that we're going. But again, that country club casual feel is what we try to promote on board our ocean as well as river.
Okay, great. And this next question is from Rachel. It looks like a good one. She's wondering what your most successful accounts do to sell these cruises.
Well, I always like to say that you all have a Scenic Eclipse client. It may not be your entire database, but you all have. And it's really knowing your client's types of travel and grooming that client and start to upgrade. Where I've had success with travel partners is, going into the yacht clubs, the country clubs, the 55 and over communities, some of the charitable organizations as well. These are organizations that have the discretionary income for this type of a product. But I always start to say, dig down into your client base right now and see what type of clients and what their travel trends are like, because you never know by offering this, you never know what type of response you get by offering this discovery experience on board. Know your clients, know your database, know their psychographics, their demographics, and what they're looking for in an experience, and you can always upgrade, upsell them.
Okay, that's some great advice. Thank you so much for that. And it looks like that was actually our last question. So I want to thank everyone so much for their time. Thank you so much, Richard, for the presentation. And I want to remind everyone that this was recorded. It'll be up on CLIA's YouTube channel. So everyone can watch it again and share it with anyone that would like the information. And that's
Thank you for all your support.
Any final words?
Have a great day. That's it. Thank you for your support.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.